welcome to the Collector with me, Jace, and to part 2 of my arrivals, where I'm going over the arrivals that I've had during 2022, the ones that are currently here, obviously, because there's now 4 on the way. Whether they'll arrive here before the end of the year, I have no idea at all, but anyway, there's 4 pieces still to come. If you haven't seen part 1 already, I recommend you go and watch that first and then come to this, but it's up to you. You either will or you won't. I'll leave that entirely up to you, that decision. So here we are with part 2, so ranking from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. These four have been difficult to place. Certainly, well, not the 4th. 4th place is a given. It's easy. I'm guessing all of you know which is in 4th place. But those last 3, they have been difficult. They have been really difficult to place, and I've gone over it and over it and over it, and I always sort of came to the same order, and I'm sticking with that order. I think it might surprise some of you. So this is kind of your last chance now to have your shuffle, because some of you did really well guessing on the first one. Quite a few of you messaged saying you got it right, so fair play to all of you. Let's see how close you all get on this one. Now, I do want to play a little clip back from part 1, just to remind you all what I said. This is just a bit of fun, isn't it, really? But I said this. Going through all the pieces I've had arrive in 2022, and I'm going to just be chatting about them quickly, and obviously I'm going to put them in the order of my absolute favourite piece to arrive this year in mind. And like I said, I've not done this order to catch anyone out or anything like that. I will explain why each piece is where it is as I go. But this has been far from easy. But I just kept coming back to the same order. Without further ado, let's start with the first piece. This is the one in 4th place. I'm guessing virtually all of you know what this one's going to be. So, no, I don't know if this works, but I want to have a go and see if this works, because I've always wanted to do it. So here we go to 4th place. Okay, so here we are with number 4. Probably most of you guessed this, which, and how I sort of introduced it by saying that you've probably all guessed this, is a little bit unfair, I felt. After I'd said it, I thought, it's not fair to say that about this piece, because I think the fact that I've got this piece in my collection at all is testament to how good this piece really is. Because you all know my love lies in dark, sinister things, the villains. That's what shapes my collection. That's the core. So, and here we have the complete polar opposite of that. This is just a complete and utter visual portrayal of happiness and idyllic and calm and peace and serenity and happiness and joys. It's as far removed from things that I collect, or the core of my collection, as you could get, and yet here it is in my collection and in 4th place. I just adore it. I love all of the detail. The detail on this is exceptional. I'm a huge fan of detail, and you've got it here with this, and to every single one of these. I mean, I've screwed all mine up to make them look real. I mean, they're even printed on both sides, some of them, and it's actually the writing and the drawings and everything. It's just incredible. The only issue I've got with it is Bilbo himself. He's not great, is he? Let's be honest, he's not great. He's not as good as the hobbits on the Escape Off the Road. I even thought about taking him off the chair and just having it, but it didn't look right somehow. But it kind of doesn't matter, because everything else about it is just so good. So yeah, here we are, Weta Workshop, 4th place, the Bilbo in Bag End. This is something, if you get a chance to get this, I highly recommend you get it. It isn't a Masters Collection piece, but it's nonetheless, it is utterly superb. Yeah. 4th place, Bilbo in Bag End. Oh, and incidentally, this is the only piece I'm going to be putting on the turntable. The next 3 I'm not, because they're too big, too heavy. I ain't bloody moving them. So we'll probably be going handheld and doing it all manner of different ways. Okay, anyway. I'm guessing most of you got this right, so I'll leave with Bilbo. there we go. I'm guessing most of you got that one right. I did do a poll. But I'm actually filming this first thing. Well, it's not first thing Sunday morning. It's about, well, it is. It's 20 past 11. I've got to get a wriggle on with this actually because I've got all day to film it. But I've literally got an appointment in 2 hours at the health spa because I'm going for a massage. So yeah, so I want to at least get this bit done. Well, I've got so much in my head. So yeah, I'm guessing most of you get that. But I know when I looked at the poll this morning because I put it on last night, and I say it's Sunday now. And I noticed, yeah, interesting results. But I know just one of you voted for this. Although you were voting for your favourites, so it's irrelevant to this video, really, technically. Right, okay. The big three. Literally, the big three. I just want to clarify, this is absolutely me being 100% strictly honest. And I took a long time debating over this. I stand by everything I have ever said in my reviews. I stand by every score I have given. And I will explain as I go why I have placed these in the order I have. But know this. There are pico fractions between each one. Because it would have been a cop-out if I'd have just said, oh, I can't choose and I'm going to put them all at joint first. That would have been a cop-out. That would have been crap. So I've chosen order. It was the order that came into my head when I very first thought about doing this video. It's the order I kept coming back to. It's the order I'm sticking to, and it's the honest order. So I'd be really keen to know how many of you get this right. And be honest. Be honest, did you get this right? Right, without further ado, let's go in at third place. Third place is, of my arrivals in 2022, is... Oh dear. I know. Here in third place is the amazing Escape Off the Road by Weta Workshop. Simply an incredible piece, and I know some of you are sat there probably yelling at me. You gave that a 9.5. You said it was nearly flawless, practically flawless. It is. I stand by my score. I stand by everything I've said about all these statues. I've not changed my mind. I've just been honest. And like I said, there is such tiny, tiny differences in how I've ranked these. And I think it's going to be easier to explain when I go into first and second place as to why this is in third place. Takes nothing away from the piece at all. Like I said, it would have been a cop-out if I'd put them all joint first, which is where they deserve to be realistically, but I made my choices. And yeah, without question, as I said when I did the unboxing and when I did the review, and I've done another video on this, this still stands as being testament to the true ability of sculpt, the true ability of what is achievable with paint applications. And in regards to sculpt and paint applications, the actual artistry involved in that, this is superior to everything in my collection. And it will take some knocking off the top spot for those reasons. And it's why I absolutely adore it, and that's why this is one of those pieces, like a few others I have now in my collection, where it's a little bit like when you see adverts for pet dogs at Christmas. It's for life. I just could never see a reason for me ever wanting to get rid of this. But it's in third place, and I stand by that. And I think it will become more apparent why when I explain first and second places. So without further ado, let's have a look at what's in second place. Sorry. I do love it. I do love it. But someone had to be third, and it's this. I know what some of you are thinking. How can Escape Off the Road be third? But it is, and it'll become more apparent when I explain why first and second are in their places. More predominantly why first, but yeah, I'm wondering how many of you actually put that in third place. I had to pick an order. And I'm sticking with it. Right, listen, let's carry on. Let's go to second place. I'm wondering how many of you now I have to rejumble your lists. And here we go. Second place is... Hope that I'm on camera here. I apologise if I'm not. Yeah, this is another one where I'm guessing quite a few of you probably put this in first place. It's in second place, so now obviously cat's out of the bag. We all know what's in first place, and I'm sure some of you are really scratching your heads, but trust me, I'm going to go back upstairs and we'll go over first place. But for now, and I'll explain. But for now, let's just talk about this guy. For me, this is on par with Sauron in levels of all over awesomeness and quality, and just how pleased I am with it, and pleased to see how much Prime 1 have improved after some poorer pieces that they've released in the Lord of the Rings line. This Berserker piece, I championed it from day one. I've said to people who hadn't received theirs yet, you are going to love this. They have all got back to me and said they love it. It is an incredible piece. I love this piece. It just screams unbridled rage, and it encapsulates that perfectly. And I love the fact that all of the weapons are metal and they're done exquisitely well. I love the base on this, even though once again we have the wrong surround. And even the banner I think is fantastic, and as you can see my banner has begun to bend, which again I don't mind at all. I've actually just wedged mine just against the wall a bit there so it doesn't bend any further, and I have seen on other photographs other people's are bending, but again it just adds realism to it. It's just a spectacular piece. And as with Escape Off the Road, somebody had to be third, somebody had to be second. I was hyped about it from day one. It was one of the pieces that when I took it out of the box, I just loved it even more. And it's just incredible. It's just incredible. And it was a simple case of, I always bring it down to, if you could only keep one out of the two, which one would you keep? And I know it doesn't make any sense, but I've got to go, I've done all this with my heart, not my head. All of these rankings I've done with my heart. And this one, just by the teeniest, tiniest fraction, was the one I chose. And that's it. This is second place. The Berserker is second place. So I'm guessing a lot of you ain't going to agree with me on how I've done this. And please don't think for one second I've done this to try and catch you all out. I haven't. This is genuinely. It's how the order first came into my head when I first thought of doing this. And I've argued with myself over how I've placed these. But I kept coming back to the same thing. Now, let's go upstairs and go and have a look at the Infinity Nazgul bust, and I'll explain to you all why that piece takes the number one slot. And I hope it'll make sense as to why. Okay, let's go. I do love that piece though. Okay, so here we are at number one, and I'm guessing this has come as a surprise probably to quite a lot of you, and I'm sure a lot of you are asking the question, Jace, you gave Escape Off the Road a 9.5. You gave the Berserker a 9.5. This got an 8, almost a 7.5. And I stand by all them scores, I stand by everything I said in the reviews, but if you cast your mind back with the review on this, I did say I would still recommend this to anyone. And this is the key thing here. Yeah, there's problems with this, there's flaws, there's issues. The base was painted very poorly, although the watchtower on the top is very good, but you can't really see it. I had an issue getting the pin in the one arm. The only real sculpt on this is the arms, most of which are covered. As some of you have rightly said, it's really just a mixed media piece. The sword isn't metal. These robes are a frigging nightmare to get on and get right. I can't begin to tell you how long I've faffed about with these bloody robes. The shipping was a shock, although now seeing how much shipping has gone up, especially from Asia, it is what it is anyway. And again, huge import fee on it, but not the biggest import fee. Scape Thread over there is still the biggest import fee I've had. But that's the thing. You see, that's the thing. Despite all those things, despite the low score, despite the failings, despite the disappointments, despite the frustration, I absolutely love this piece. I love it, and it grows more and more every day. This is about 5-6 feet from the end of my bed, and I normally sit in bed and I either read or I watch something on my iPad. And since this has been up here, I just sit and look at it. I just sit and look, and I love it, and I love it, I love it, I love it. And I am so impressed by this piece, so impressed, without having to readdress or ask myself the question. This is now currently my favourite piece in my collection, despite all those flaws and issues, and that's why it's number one. That's why it had to be number one. There was no question, and I love it a little bit more now that I've bought that UC dagger and I put it on the base as well. It's just, I mean, look at the size of this thing, man. Look at it. It's just so impressive, and you guys who have got this coming, when you get it, you will know what I mean. You'll look back at this video and say, yeah, he wasn't taking the piss. He wasn't trying to catch us out. He wasn't just thinking, oh, I'll stick him in that order just to surprise. You will know what I mean, because it is phenomenally brilliant for something that is ridiculously simple. I don't disagree with any one of you who has said there's literally nothing to it, but that's the trick. Getting it right, getting it impressive, getting it that it becomes your favourite piece. And Infinity managed to do it somehow. They managed to do it because that base is poor. The paint job on the main part, I like the plaque. I like the plaque on the front, and the watchtower on the top, absolutely fine. But the rest of that, but like I said in my review, you don't look at it. You don't really look at it. Everything, you're drawn to this, to all of this. It's just magnificent, and I hope now I've explained it, you can see why I've come to this conclusion. And yeah, and I stand by it, and it's sincere and it's honest, and that's how it stands for 2022 so far, because there are pieces coming that could certainly rock the boat, assuming they arrive this year and I get a chance to unbox them all and film it and edit it and do a part 3. So we might have a part 3, but I'll be honest, we're running out of time. But anyway, worry about that later. For now, my favourite piece for 2022 that's arrived in the haunt and is here in the haunt is this, the Infinity Studios 1/1 scale Nazgul, or Ringwraith if you prefer. Despite me wanting to throw the damn thing out the window at times because it's so frustrating getting them robes on, despite the fact I had to get a hammer to it to get the one pin in, despite the fact that it's as poorly painted a base as on the Lurtz one, and it's, I think, the lowest score I've given this year, or joint lowest score I've given this year, it's still my favourite piece. It's still my favourite piece. And it was unquestionable. It was just always in my head this was number one. It was always in my head. And I know when I looked at the poll, when I woke up this morning and I looked at the poll I put on last night, I thought, oh, everyone's going to be so annoyed. Everyone's going to think I've done this just to catch them out. I haven't. Honestly, this is absolutely genuine how I've done this. So I hope, let me know in the comments anyway what you think. Let me know. But honestly, any of you that are getting this, it will drive you around the twist for the first couple of days until you get it right. But after that, you're going to love it. You're going to forgive the fact the sword's not metal, and you'll get over the frustration and you'll get over the minor disappointment. because, I mean, look, just look at it. Look at it. I mean, just sat here next to it. It's just frigging awesome, man. It's absolutely frigging awesome. I love it. I love it. Anyway, that's the last piece for part 2. We might get a part 3. I don't know yet, but you'll know because there'll be unboxings before. But for now, he sits at the top. He sits at the top of my favourites of 2022, and he sits at the top of my favourite in my entire collection, my number 1. Right, let's go back to the sofa and wrap this video up. So there we are. How many of you got that order correct? And I do sincerely hope that my explanations for why I've put each piece where it is, you can see now why I went for that order. Those final 3, guys, was so difficult. It was so difficult, but I've been brutally honest, and I don't know why a piece that has flaws and issues and is frustrating, I had unexpected expense, but it is literally now almost certainly currently my favourite piece in my collection. The Infinity Studios Nazgul Blade. That's my order. You're going to have to let me know in the comments what you think. Do you agree? Can you see where I'm coming from? I hope I've explained that well. Potentially we could have a part 3 to this yet. But given the fact that I'm going to have to do unboxings and reviews, and how many days I'm working between now and the end of the year, will they even arrive this year? I can't see any of them pieces turning up before Christmas. I'll be pleasantly surprised if they do turn up before Christmas. But hey, let's just see. I think they're all paid for now. The shipping's paid for and everything. So I've just got the nightmare of paying for all the import fees on these, which is going to be horrendous. So that's it. That's it for part 2. So potentially we have a part 3 in the future. As ever, if you've enjoyed the video, please consider clicking the like button, because you know it massively helps, and I really do appreciate that, as I do. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, again, it all helps. It's one click for you, and it's a massive help for the channel, and I really super appreciate it. Listen, guys, I'm gonna have to shoot, and I will catch you all on the next video, which, you never know, we might have an unboxing. We might have 4. God. Are we going to cram them in by the end of the year, or we're not? As simple as that. Some of these are probably going to domino into 2023 now. So, but anyway, have a superb week ahead, all of you. Well, actually, I'm filming this on Sunday, but I know I'm not going to post it till Wednesday. So I hope your week's going really well, and I hope you're looking forward to the weekend. And I'll catch you on the next video. Take care, and ta-ra from me. Bye.